Let me tell you a story. High school is a big time where a lot of people are finally connecting and are finally dating, right? Me included. I grew up kind of being the ugly kid, kind of was fat or chubby, and then got a little glow up going into high school. And finally, I started getting attention. One consequence of that is that I had to talk to people. And I generally was okay with it because, as people do, we talk to each other all of our lives. But I didn't truly understand what that meant. What it really means is that when you start talking to people, or at least being with somebody romantically, you start to be surrounded by that person so much that not only do you see the beautiful things that they have within them, but also their flaws and insecurities. And thus, they also see your flaws and your insecurities as well. Being a little kid and not really having a lot of interactions and stuff like that, it was really difficult at first to open up or to be comfortable with my emotions and how I was feeling. So when I got into my first big relationship, things were amazing at first. I treated her and I did everything I could because based off of the fairy tales and things I saw online, I had to do everything in my power in order to make her happy. And what happened? Well, I gave and 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 I gave. I gave so much of myself that I didn't let myself be loved, nor did I give her opportunity to love me. And then I started asking myself, well, do I need to continue to pour more love and maybe I might feel loved once I do that? And I kept thinking, I said, maybe that's it, right? So I kept trying harder, 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 doing more and more and more and more and more and more and more. Where did it lead me? It left me single. I learned one important thing. You cannot force somebody to love you. And I was so emotionally guarded that I didn't let myself understand that she wasn't reciprocating my emotions. Maybe I would give her flowers and presents, but I couldn't tell her how I truly felt about her at times. I would write to her, but I couldn't tell her that something was bothering me or that I was bothered by something that she did to me. I thought for a second, how do I make the best out of my situation? And I kept trying to think about it logically. I was like, well, if A plus B equals C, right? There should be a solution around here somewhere. And that just wasn't true. Why? Well, our emotions aren't clear cut. There's a lot of different reasons why we do certain things. There are so many emotions that one person feels that it is imperative that you will have thousands, if not millions, of different emotions compared to the other person. Why? We're all unique. We're all wired differently. We all feel differently. It's only natural. So, what did I do when I realized that? I took a step back and I talked to myself and I said, well, what is it that you want? How do you want to feel? How can I help you be happy? This is what I was telling myself. And I told myself I don't know if I can be. Maybe I'm just destined to always feel like I'm not worthy or that somebody doesn't meet my expectations. And all it was I couldn't control my emotions. I didn't know when to stop. I didn't ever let myself feel angry or sad or happy. I just stayed content. And that's okay, Being a patient and loving person is wonderful. The issue is whenever you're the cornerstone of everybody's lives and you juggle so many people's emotions in your own mind that you start losing your own and you start becoming emotionless. And then you slowly lose your compassion for the world around you. You slowly lose your empathy for people. And that was the issue that I started finding myself in. So, what did I do? Well, this is probably the cheesiest answer that I can give you, but it's so true. I started living for me. I started living life the way that I wanted to. I started allowing myself to do the things that I truly liked and I truly wanted to do. Whether it was go play soccer outside with my friends, or whether it was go to a mall and spend some money on cool clothes that I thought, on the new fashion and the new kicks. Those things gave me solace in a deep, dark hole that I dug myself in. And it truly came down to loving myself. I feel like a lot of people say it, but it's so hard to put into practice. And I personally have so much practice in doing the opposite. It's so easy to hate on yourself. And it's so important to love yourself. If I had some advice for the younger me, if I could do it over again, knowing what I know now, I would probably tell him, well, you tried, first off. Good for you. And second, listen to God. Let God lead you and down the correct path. Let God take control of your life. Because as soon as I started doing that, as soon as I started implementing that into my life, I started feeling freedom. I still had my emotions, you know? I still felt angry. I still felt sad. I still felt mad at times. Sometimes I was deprived of it, right? But I told myself, well, you're meant to be here for a reason. And you know why? Because you're still here. If you didn't have a greater purpose in God's creation and in God's image, you would no longer be here. You would no longer continue to feel the guilt or the anger or the sadness. You would just be cease to exist. You would just cease to exist. When I started putting my life in God's hands, I started to feel unstoppable. What did I have to lose? Nothing. Whatever was meant for me, whatever path that I was meant to go down, I will make sure with God alongside me that I will reach that goal because I have faith that I will with Him to reach the goal that He created for me. And the only thing that I can do to help me reach that goal faster or even at my adequate time is to just pray and tell myself that everything's going to be okay. Everything is going to work out. And that's my advice to my younger self. If I had to go back and tell myself anything, please, please, please listen to God and let Him lead your life. I think that's it for me. We'll catch you.